What's going on, everybody? Doc, your average gamer guys, back at again, Last Day on Earth action. And recently, while we were grinding for some events and trying to get our previous video going, where we ran in and fought our dog against the big one, check that video out, you'll enjoy it. An interesting thought dawned on me. We've done a lot of farming location runs in the past, where we farm different zones, we see what kind of resources we can get. As I was grinding towards getting the big one to spawn in this red zone here, Limestone Spires, a thought dawned on me. It'd be very interesting to see how does the red chests perform, or the chests at red locations specifically perform, and what kind of loot can you find out of it. So I'm pulling out all the stops for this one. You know the timer is up, so you know we're going to get that going. I'm going to save a bunch of video editing process time by just cutting out those big chunks. So I promise you, we're doing the full hour. You're not going to see everything. I won't fast forward through a whole bunch of it like we've done in the past. What I want to do, though, is just see how many red locations can we hit, how many chests can we hit, and then inside of that, what kind of rewards are we able to find? What kind of goodies can we come across? So what I'm going to focus on is really purely just running into location, finding as many chests as I can. I will kill any enemies we need to along the way. I'm not going to loot them, though. I'm going to leave the enemies alone. We're just going to go purely for chests and see what we can get. How many can we get in an hour, and what can we get in an hour? I have the VIP zone, so I'm going to be sending everything over to that. I've gone an extra step and queued up a floppy disk crate. This will reduce my runtime back and forth. So I'm really trying to be efficient. In addition, we've got our brutalizer. We're going to utilize all of our VIP perks for this. And I brought some spare weapons as well. My hope here is to kind of see, you've got some upper tier rewards that you can find. C4 is a possibility. There's pups that can spawn on the edge. I've never seen a weapon mod blueprint, but apparently it's in the pool. I don't think I've ever seen an M16. I take that back. I've definitely seen shotguns and pistols and some of the other weapons, springs and things like that. We have our Bloodhound boost going for rare items, for our doggos. So all of that will be running the entire time. I have really trying to make this as efficient of a run as possible. So I'm going to get out of the way. We'll jump in. As soon as we get in, we'll start the timer. I'll pop back in and out a handful of times if we come across anything fun. And other than that, let's see what can we find farming red location chests for an hour. Here we go. Okay, well this is interesting. The literal first thing we run across here as we jump into this. I've never seen this event before. This is wild. Wow, that's really interesting. Okay. Whoa. Wow. That is really interesting. I'm a little stunned by this one. I've seen the Raider one. I've seen the Raider one pretty often. What is this? Dude, that is so cool. I wish I was still on cam, but that is awesome. I am gonna have to see what this ends up doing here at the base. That is really neat. Hold on, I'm gonna read this again. I know you're scared, but the ritual is the act of the unconscionable faith of our Heavenly Father. He is our shepherd. We are his flock, like in any decent cult. He'll show whose souls will ascend hundreds of others. He's been right so far, and so shall he be. Okay, so the other thing that is important to note, if you're not too familiar, sometimes you are going to come across some of these events that will kind of dictate what happens here. I'm just really surprised that we were able to do that. I didn't bring any shovels with me, so I'm gonna potentially lose out on a handful of things. But wow, that is really that is really cool. I might just queue this up as a separate video, to be honest with you. That is really, really interesting. Let's see what else is here. Look at even the little even the stone has some of the stone has some of the markings on it. I'm curious now. What happens if it's not every one of them. How many is it? Is it everyone? Oh, I guess it is everyone. Maybe just this one over here. No, that one doesn't have it. These don't have it. Well, now I gotta know. What happens if I farm all these down? Alright, let me look to see here. This is really interesting. I do have a shovel. And let's grab a pickaxe here. I'm curious if anything like this one doesn't have it. That's really interesting. Does this queue anything up here? Or is this just like neat decoration for this? I'd seen this before. I don't remember in what. Obviously some other type of event. Ourselves a little player here. I'm really curious what this does. Let's see if this queued anything else up over here. Man, what a neat event. That's really cool. There's a bow and arrow stuck in the ground. Okay, it looks like this isn't anything. So... Huh. That's cool. That is cool. We will we'll jump back and we'll take a look. We'll check out what yeah, we'll have to check out what this ritual fire does at our base here, but this is an interesting one for sure. All right, jumping back in here really quick. I anticipated seeing some basements, but I just want to showcase this one very fast because this is one of the largest basements I have seen for a basement spawn. So we have these couple of things here. We've cleared this out already. Couple of enemies, a whole bunch of chests in this like multi-tiered, multi-open, like look at all these different compartments that we have down here. This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. One of the other things that I'm running into is we have pulled all of our items already, and my VIP storage is full for spare things. So we'll be able to stack a whole bunch, but I am going to end up having to leave like a handful of items, unfortunately, some melee and probably some broken pieces of armor. That won't really change my assessment, but something I do want to note, and we'll use the chopper space up. We'll use our space with our doggo here as well. Try to make the best use of that. But I just wanted to showcase this very, very elaborate basement for one of the houses here. So hopefully we can keep seeing a few of those. I am going to keep a tally of what those are looking like as well. That way we can know kind of everything that we ran across here today for that. So we've done really good. Gotten quite a few things. Very excited about that. And we'll be looking for some more as we get into it here. Okay, we are going to finish this up here, because I don't think I could get through a full location with 2 minutes remaining. So what I'm going to do is let me head over here. Let's run to the gas station, and let's talk about how we did. Well, so we'll showcase the loot that we got, paused a couple of times. Let's go over some basic stats. So in the hour, or just about at the hour, we ended up doing 13 total locations. I think that was pretty good, pretty fast rate. I think we could have gotten maybe 1 to 2 or 3 more, but we ran into 2 basements. The interesting thing about the basements is obviously we had to clear a lot of the zombies. We also did get stinky about halfway through, and that slowed us down a little bit because we had to fight a lot more zombies over the course of that. So I do think we could up our total number of locations. I will say that it was extremely effective to be able to have that floppy disk right there back and forth. We ended up finding only 1 location for the True Friend to go and to pull loot out of, so I did not count that as a chest, but that was interesting. We fought the big one once as well. Interestingly enough, in one of the locations we found a dog treat. I had to use it to help me kill a big one, so we took down 1 big one with the pupper, and then we went to 2 basement locations over the course of the hour. So that was pretty good. The first one was really insane. The second one wasn't as great. And then total chests, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. We did 67 total chests in that time. That's not including any dig up locations. That wasn't including any other little stuff that we might have, like anything that we needed for the shovel I didn't count. Any of the little spots with the debris piles I didn't count as well. That was just pure chests that we're able to do 67 in those 13 locations, which is really high, but we got really, really lucky with the basements. Those had a ton of chests, so we get like 4 chests or so at the broken down house, and then we saw another 10 or so probably down below underneath it. So a couple of things to note here. I had the 2 dog collars already, but we did find a couple of truck wheels, a piece of tactical body armor. We then also were able to secure a shotgun, which was pretty cool. We found a whole bunch of food. I did farm animals because I was trying to farm some food in addition to this. So we did farm up a good amount of food. I was happy with that. We found a roasted turkey. We found a whole bunch of, animal rawhide, handful of other items. These are just a 1 thing of batteries here. We did fight the that red zone location enemies 2 times, interestingly enough. So we found them out of those 13. We found those guys twice, and then a handful of other items here. In terms of the stash, we found the ritual fire, which we're going to go take a look at. Or actually, probably not, because I'm going to make that a separate video. So if you want to see what this looks like, go jump over to there. We found all this other food. We did find a pistol as well. So 2 good guns, about 50% or so durability, but shotgun and a pistol in that time frame. And then, as we jump over here, let's take a look at what we found for this crate. This was pretty crazy. So we found the Colt Python from that ritual, which was really neat, as well as the scythe, which I thought was cool. We did find a katana. We found, again, maybe a handful of other melee weapons that we could take, and a handful of additional pieces of armor. Nothing really to note, just kind of on the lower end stuff. So I'm going to end up actually just deleting these, because I do not want these at the base. In terms of materials, though, we found a lot of first aid bandages, which I thought was interesting. Found a ton of food, a ton of water. We killed the big one once, and then the ritual had these big bones, so that's where that came from. Some springs, some more truck tires. We fought, I should have counted the number of NPCs, but I did not. We fought a good handful of those. We did find some ration coupons. And then just a handful of just basic materials here. So overall, I'm not super impressed with the loot outside of the ritual and outside of all of the food that we were able to farm. That part was really, really good, and I did appreciate that. We did find a shotgun. We did find a Glock. Those are pretty cool. I'm disappointed that we didn't find any red tickets. I'm disappointed that we didn't find any C4. And I'm also a little disappointed, just like in the total number of like quality items. I don't think we got a ton of good quality items. To say that you shouldn't go do this, I wouldn't say that. I do think there's a purpose, especially if you needed to mine maybe a basic resource. I do think this was an efficient way to grind up some season points, get some chests, get some opportunities for some of those. With that being said, would I count on or rely on this to find C4 or other items? My answer to that would be no. Now, if you're earlier on in the game, but capable of farming those locations, especially if you don't get smelly, then you could be in pretty decent shape, I think, to potentially make out better than we did. I had to really just kind of run and gun a little bit to to try to get as many as we could in that time frame. So that probably impacted us a little bit. Overall, not terribly disappointed, but it is important to note that some of those high rolls for, I would say the really rare items are tough to come by. They are tough to come by, and that is something just to be aware of if you're going to go spend your time farming in those zones or with that purpose. Again, I think you can do good there, but is it going to be the most efficient? Probably not. Probably not is a fair way of saying all that stuff. So I got a lot of cleaning up to do, a lot of things to put away. I hope you found this one interesting. We found some really cool stuff over the course. I think the events, I should also make this comment. I think the events that you can run across can be really, really helpful. So had we seen that ritual, had we seen the Raider event, we would have been able to get Raider armor and a slasher out of that. Had we seen maybe 1 or 2 more basements as well, there's really good chances for high quality loot in those. So, might be worth giving this another go, but wanted to just showcase and share and have some fun farming some red locations. So again, if you want to go check out, I'm going to do some post commentary on the ritual. That video will, I'm sure, already be up by the point this one goes up. Sometimes we stumble on some content, which is always appreciated. But I'm going to wrap this one up. Thank you so much for checking it out. If you enjoyed, be sure to check out our Wasteland Survival playlist. It's a whole bunch of deep dives and other similar things. We farm locations. We just recently did Northern Zones and some of the other stuff. So if you're interested in that and where to spend your time, it's a great playlist. We deep dive on different topics in the game, which is really awesome. Links in the description if you want to come join the Discord, another great resource for everybody. And just stay tuned to the channel. Hit that sub button, trying to get to 10K. That's our next big milestone. Really do appreciate all the support. Look forward to chat with you in the comments or over in the Discord. And with that, we'll leave you to it. See you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Peace.